I wish I could claim him as a son.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, way cooler than my dad.
The Odyssey throws Matt Damon and Tom Holland into an epic adventure, but off-screen, they accidentally become an unwilling dad and a son who is far too excited. The more Matt tries to avoid that label, the more Tom makes it hilariously reasonable. If you enjoy this chemistry, make sure to hit like and subscribe.
It happened here.
Yeah, like we can't stand each other.
I can tell it's quite awkward.
Yeah, we signed a dotted line to pretend to be friends for the day, and here we are.
This is as close as we've been allowed to get for almost a year now.
Cross that line, we're going to have some trouble.
They do not need time to build closeness. The moment they sit next to each other, they are already pretending to be annoyed, setting up safe boundaries as if the contract only requires them to tolerate each other for a few hours. It is exactly the family dynamic. The more you care about someone, the more you have to talk like you are about to disown them.
Cleaning a cheese grater is an absolute nightmare.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'd rather grate my face.
All it takes is a kitchen counter for the natural rolls to appear. Matt complains about cleaning up in the most grown-up way possible, while Tom agrees with an image nobody needed to imagine. One person starts the topic, the other turns it into an accident. The formula almost runs by itself.
I wonder if you'll still be one of my favorite people after this session, Tom.
I'm worried, dude. I'm worried.
Matt understands pretty early that talking with Tom always comes with a reputational risk. He says he is worried, half serious and half joking, like a man who already knows the kid beside him could blurt out anything at any moment. Tom does not even need to do anything. His presence alone makes the adults stay on guard.
Tom, for you, I mean, you're so much younger, and there is pressure.
Not that much. I mean, come on, what the heck?
Of course, Tom does not let the age gap come up without pushing back. He corrects it immediately as if the word younger has just been exaggerated into born in another century. Matt does not need to respond. The amusement on his face is enough to show this is not the first time the younger brother has demanded to be treated like a grown-up.
You just say yes.
I just said yes.
Yeah, just say yes, yeah.
But when it comes to work, they are strangely in sync. Both admit there are some offers where the only reasonable reflex is to say yes without calling a family meeting or making a pros and cons list. For a few seconds, the generational gap disappears. They sound like two kids who have just been allowed to do the thing they already wanted to do.
That you'd like to debunk. Apparently it's very hard to act asleep.
Not for me.
Not for me.
Seems like it'd be fun.
That same sync appears in much sillier topics too. Tom offers a professional discovery about acting asleep. Matt immediately blocks any chance of turning it into a serious issue, and then Tom switches sides to join him. Nobody wins the argument, but both of them seem very satisfied with ruining it.
I watched a pot wash in a pub.
That's what you guys call a dishwasher? Pot wash?
Yeah.
Pot wash.
Didn't last very long.
In the kitchen, cultural differences give Tom the chance to become an accidental translator. He explains a British term with the patience of someone teaching his dad how to use a new remote. Matt listens carefully, even though the issue is only what to call the person washing the dishes. The smaller the topic, the clearer the family energy becomes.
You know, I just missed it. I think I was too old when the first one came around, when Toby did it. I'm a little older than Toby, and then there's been a parade of excellent actors in that role.
Matt does not try to hide the generational gap when the conversation turns to Spider-Man. He calmly admits he was already too old from the very first version, giving Tom more evidence that the two of them entered that world at very different moments. The lightness in his delivery turns the distance into a joke, not a wall.
I actually see him a lot more as a colleague than as a son figure. You know, I may be an older brother, or maybe I'm just don't want to get old, but. But no, he's incredible and reminds me a lot of me at that age.
Still, calling Matt dad is a step he is not ready to approve. He tries negotiating it down to colleague, then brother, before admitting that maybe he just does not want to feel old. It is a very Matt moment. Instead of denying the chemistry, he simply asks to change the title to a position that sounds a few decades younger.
One of my most poignant memories with my dad is we were on holiday in Portugal as a family, and he finally sort of sat me down and introduced me to the world of Bourne. And I remember watching that movie for the first time, and it
as a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
The problem for Matt is that Tom has brought an entire family memory as evidence. To Tom, Bourne is not just a movie, it is tied to the time his father took him into a new cinematic world. So standing beside Matt feels both like working with a colleague and like having someone from childhood suddenly step out and sit right next to him.
That's why we all want to be Hercules. I think it's Michael Bourne, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
That admiration does not stop them from answering wrong together, or at least answering with suspicious confidence. When a piece of pop culture becomes blurry, Matt makes a guess, and Tom immediately backs him up like a son who believes his dad definitely knows the way. 2 seconds later, neither of them seems more certain, but the team formation has been established.
It was harder than any movie I've ever made, but I think it was unique because it was hard for everybody, like across all the departments. Everyone got pushed.
When talking about the Odyssey, Matt shows exactly the posture of someone experienced enough to understand where a massive project becomes difficult. He doesn't turn the hardship into a personal achievement. He brings the whole crew into the story. That calmness explains why Tom sees him as an anchor. Matt does not need to try to look seasoned.
Tom, you cry and you get to cry in this movie.
Love it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about off camera.
Yeah, off
He
camera
doesn't
too.
stop. It's just weird.
Tom, meanwhile, turns an emotional topic into something personal in a single beat. The moment he hears about crying, he immediately redirects the question away from the movie, while Matt jumps in with the voice of someone trying to stop the kid from sharing too much in public. The stop it does not really stop anything, but it completes the role of the unwilling dad a little too perfectly.
I don't know if that is actually how.
No,
that
Chris
went
said
down.
that to me for sure. He said we've got to make sure, because if you look better than all the warriors in Troy, we've got a problem.
Tom brings the opposite energy, young, strong, and sometimes too skilled for what the character allows. Having to be less good at it sounds like a reminder for the son who is turning a picnic into a fitness competition. Matt stays calm enough to keep it from becoming a performance of achievement.
Chris is not calling cut because you were bad.
Which everyone, that was the first time it happened to everyone. That was their reaction. What did I do?
That was everyone's first day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On set, both of them learn that Christopher Nolan's silence is not necessarily a sign of the apocalypse. Matt tells the story of their shared reaction with the humor of someone who survived the first misunderstanding. He makes the confusion sound like an initiation ritual everyone eventually has to go through.
Hot Ones the other day.
Oh yeah, man.
I mean, I fully vomited on camera.
On camera?
A full time, like I'm standing there, we're laughing, having a good time.
When I did it, I threw up.
Oh, did you?
Off camera. But yeah.
Mate. And it was also pure milk.
If Matt worries that Tom talks too much, that concern is completely justified. Just mention a spicy wing show, and Tom tells an experience so directly that the listener does not know whether to laugh or look away. Matt can only listen and laugh, like a parent who is far too late to turn off the microphone, but still has to act like the situation is under control.
I decided a long time ago I'd rather be happy than right. That was really...
That is why, when Matt offers the principle of choosing happiness over trying to be right, it sounds like advice from someone who no longer has much interest in winning every argument. It is not preachy, not dressed up, just short enough for Tom to remember, and wise enough to help Matt avoid useless fights.
I'm watching Alone with my dogs, not my kids.
Alone is great.
Alone
It
is
the most
the
addictive
best.
show.
Tom also has a talent for putting himself in situations where he needs to clarify things even when nobody asked. He talks about watching TV with his dogs, then quickly explains that they are not his children. The moment sounds like a young person suddenly realizing he is sitting next to a parent and needs to update the family file before being misunderstood.
Do you know what I don't love? Corn dogs. Because what the fuck is that?
I can't say that I disagree with you.
What is it?
I never got the, even as a kid.
However, all that experience does not help Matt stay calm in front of a corn dog. He looks at the food like an invention that was accepted too easily, while Tom quickly finds common ground in that suspicion. For a few seconds, the conversation becomes a scene of father and son looking at the same food and both refusing to defend it.
Z will tell you this. Whenever we're in Europe, France, or anywhere like that, and you hear the sirens of police cars, I always go, Jason Bourne.
Tom's fanboy level even lets Bourne slip into street sounds. Hearing car horns in Europe, he immediately calls out Jason's name like a reflex trained since childhood. Matt is no longer just a colleague at that point. He is part of Tom's cultural memory, something Tom casually pulls out to tease right in front of the original source.
People give a lot more credit to crying scenes but they should give more credit to laughing scenes.
Yeah, that's good. I
think laughing is way harder than crying.
Matt does not shut down Tom's acting observations, even when they begin with something tiny. He listens, nods, and validates the point as if it deserves to be placed in an acting textbook. That little bit of agreement is enough to move the conversation from teasing to a senior actor quietly supporting the younger one.
I think as a young actor, it was like a treasure trove of lessons and examples of how I should try and be in the future with my career.
And Tom does not hide the fact that he is learning. He describes working beside Matt as a collection of lessons about building a career and being present on set. That sincerity gives all the earlier father-son jokes a real foundation. Beneath the laughter is a younger actor watching very carefully.
Yeah, for me, it gave me so much drive to continue to try and impress him.
Tom is especially sensitive to recognition. When he is not praised right away, he does not shrink back. He tries even harder to impress, a reflex that feels both ambitious and very young. Next to Matt's calmness, it creates an interesting balance. One person tells the experience with steadiness, while the other still wants to run a few more laps to make sure his effort has been seen.
Now you've got one of those, what were those things called? Arabies? Those frisbees with the hole in the middle?
Oh,
Did you ever have those?
I just ruined mine. I could wear it like a bib.
What makes it even funnier is that outside all the serious talk about learning, nobody in the kitchen can keep the expert role for long. Tom has his escape route with a gluten-free pizza, while Matt realizes he has to start over. The teacher and the student suddenly become two people just hoping the final product will somehow be rescued.
I don't know, but I want them to keep doing it. Because between Saving Private Ryan and Interstellar and The Martian and The Odyssey and the Bourne movies, just keep losing me, because I will keep trying to find my way home.
We love finding you.
Matt never lets the atmosphere stay grand for too long. Looking back at a whole list of characters cinema keeps forgetting, he turns his career into a search mission and cheerfully asks Hollywood to keep losing him. Tom is sitting next to a childhood icon, while that icon turns himself into misplaced luggage.
No, I was talking to the sourdough. We believe in you.
Yeah.
We want you to grow and feed so many people, make so many people happy.
The peak of the family energy appears when they both start encouraging a batch of sourdough. Matt talks to the dough like a patient father, and Tom immediately adds its future and social purpose. They are not baking anymore. They are raising a useful citizen.
No one wants to play Jason Bourne. No one wants to play Iron Man. And no one wants to play Wolverine. You know, I'm the third person to play Spider-Man. You know, there's been lots of Batmans, there's been lots of Supermans, all this sort of stuff.
Between all the jokes, Tom understands the weight of roles that become attached to a person. He places Bourne beside symbols that are almost impossible to separate from the actors who created them. It is both respect for Matt and proof that Tom understands what it feels like to carry a character audiences do not easily hand to someone else.
No, I remember my dad. One of the most memorable moments I have with my dad is sitting down. We were on a family holiday in Portugal, and he finally decided I was old enough to watch The Bourne Identity. That franchise is one of, I've spoken to Matt about this ad nauseum, it's one of my favorite franchises going, and I remember sitting down with my dad in Portugal watching that movie for the first time. So working with Matt was very special for me and for my dad.
That is why the memory of watching The Bourne Identity with his father means more than a cute fanboy story. It connects Tom's dad to the man sitting beside him, turning a press appearance into a meeting between past and present. Matt can dodge the title, but the emotion in the story quietly gives it to him in another way.
It really means a lot to me now that the movie has done. We sat down and he chatted about how happy he was with my work. So for me, that's everything that I was working towards on those days on set kind of accumulated right at the end.
When Tom finally gets confirmation that his effort has been seen, that joy closes the emotional loop. He does not need a big speech. He only needs to know those days of trying led to this moment. Like every hardworking son, all he was waiting for was one sentence telling him he did well. Matt Damon and Tom Holland are funny together because they are not trying to play father and son, but every reflex pushes them into exactly those positions. Matt has the calmness of someone who no longer needs to prove himself, while Tom brings the kind of energy that can send a conversation off the rails at any moment. One lights the fuse with deadpan, the other immediately carries the story further. And somewhere between the age jokes, kitchen chaos, and stories about the craft, the real respect naturally shows through. That is what makes this chemistry memorable. Behind the laughter is the feeling that two generations genuinely enjoy learning from each other. Comment with your favorite moment. Hit like and subscribe.